My name is Tim Richardson. I'm a professor at U of T in Seneca College. This is Dev Basu, who was a teaching assistant in my DO6 fourth year e-commerce class last year. Did a great job. And this year, and in other circumstances, he's going to be a guest speaker in some of my e-commerce classes about search engine optimization. In a short period of 2 or 3 years, he's learned 10 times more about search engine optimization than I ever did. So what we're going to do is look at an article that I had written a couple years ago, and Dev's going to give some 2009 updates of some of the topics. Now let me give you some sort of context. In 2003, I wrote a rather now famous article for Canadian Business Magazine called 10 Things to Increase Your Ranking in Search Engines. At the time it was pretty cool and talked about meta tags and links and some things that people didn't know about. But it's quite a bit out of date since then, 6 years ago. That article, however, got syndicated and put on ecommercetimes.com and many other places on the web. I also had a version of it on my website here, and I added in some additional things like UPC codes and blogging and other things like that. So what I'm going to do with Dev's help is look at some of these points and give a little bit of an update on which things are current, out of date, and need to be changed. So Dev, how are you tonight?
Pretty well, thank you.
Good. So let's first of all start with proactively submitting the URL to the search engine. The reason why I put that in there is because some people just didn't have Google picking up on their pages. Is that still something that can help your search engine ranking, taking the time to do that?
Yes and no, because the ranking process really has almost 3 steps. You have crawling, indexing, and then ranking.
Right.
So, yes, submitting it can get your pages crawled. It's a brand new site
right.
that you have up and you want Google to index it. So you have crawled, it might get indexed if it has quality content,
right.
but proactively submitting it won't get it ranked.
Okay.
The only thing that will get it ranked at that point is if you have other higher quality, credible websites
right. linking
into this new one that you're launching.
All right, sounds good. Now, a lot of people who are just new to making web pages are using different software programs like Dreamweaver and Hot Metal, etc. And the default setting is untitled.html. And some people upload their page and don't even bother, putting a title on the page. Is having a well-worded title still important to being able to be found?
Absolutely. I think the title tag is one of the first things you learn about in optimizing for search engine optimization.
Right.
So it should essentially say who you are, what you do, and where
right.
you're located. That's how I handle all of my clients.
And the reason why I also pointed that out is when you show up in Google, you also have to convince people to click on your page. So if your page is about books on waterfowl birds, it should say waterfowl birds in the title so people would at least know that that file relates to that. Okay, paid submission. Now, paid submission has changed quite a bit over the years. There's many different categories of it. Is it still worthwhile when you're just starting off to pay a big stack of dead presents to try to list, or you get screwed on that? How is paid submission working?
It's changed quite a bit, so you can really pay to get better indexing within the search engine. The only search engine that still does that's a tier 1 search engine is Yahoo.
Right.
So they have a paid inclusion program,
right.
but Google and MSN don't. So the only way you can pay to go to the top is through pay-per-click, either on the Google AdWords platform or on MSN Ad Center.
All right, content. Now we've got words, images, and audio. And back in the day, there used to be little tricks like taking a whole bunch of words on the page with the same background as your page, and like white words on a white background. We used to call that stuffing. But one of the things about Google is they don't like being tricked. And every time people come up with some search engine optimization technique, they figure out how to tweak the algorithm so that you don't artificially, cheat on them. So those kind of things are out of date. But in terms of, words on the page and images and renaming your audio files, what can you do there that makes a big difference in search engine optimization?
Sure. So it's important to understand the fundamental context of what a search engine sees versus what a human user sees.
Right.
Search engines can only understand text and links. So the more content you have on your website, the more opportunities you'll get to rank for those particular terms. And it's easy to add content. If you're a business, you can add things like a frequently asked questions section.
Right.
And these are questions that you receive on a daily basis anyways. So having that on your page can actually give you more opportunities to rank for the different services or products you provide.
A lot of people are using Flash on web pages. Of course, Flash doesn't contain text words. So if you have a Flash intro, you should have the text as well. Some people can put in a speech from the president or the chairman's report to the board of governors because it'll contain all the words that are relevant to being searched. Meta tags. We got description tags and keyword tags. What's the current thoughts on meta tags and tweaking that? It used to be a big deal. You could consult on rewriting someone's keyword tags.
Meta tags are no longer relevant. In 2002, Google specifically had something known as Florida update, and they completely rewrote their algorithm and made it much more complex.
Right.
So now meta tags have almost zero value unless you're looking at a second or third tier search engine like Hotbot, which nobody uses really.
Right.
Meta descriptions do matter because although they can't boost the search ranking, they can boost click-through rates. So if you have a well-worded description,
causes people to click on
exactly,
your
the
word.
call to action is very succinct. More people will click on that result.
Yeah, but the key word tags used to be if another site ranked higher than yours, you just right button click, copy them over, stick them on your site.
Yeah. Back in 2002 and 2003, that was all the rage.